difficult to learn the piece, but to put it together, I didn't think it was so gnarly. I think we, as long as everyone's very ready at that rehearsal, I think, which we were, it came together pretty easily, I thought. What did you think, Michael?
Well, I think there are three reasons. First of all, you really, well, it's always easy. I mean, it's easy to follow you when you're playing Rachmaninoff, and it was easy to follow you when you're playing Leshnoff. Um, they rhyme, by the way. The other thing is that I do think that the Kansas City Symphony is quick, right? But the piece is really well put together. So there was no like, oh, this doesn't make sense, and how is this going to fit together? It was so of a piece, you know, and that is always a good sign, and makes the work so much more pleasurable. Because, not only because the obvious stuff is sort of, you know, takes care of itself, but then it gives you the springboard to do more, right? Because the foundation is so stable. There's sometimes you face a piece where just getting the pieces to fit in takes every minute that you have, and you're there, and that's all you can do, because already getting to that place. Here you've got the potential to actually live with the piece, you know, so you know it fit. You try it on immediately, you know it fits, it looks good, it's fine. Now you can really feel comfortable with it. You can accessorize, get some waterproofing for the lower parts of the booth, you know, the whole package.
Yeah, I think in the first rehearsal, it came easy to me which parts I just have to be the leader, or, you know, it's me. It's up to me to sort of create the path, and then where I have to just totally follow, listen what's going on. And certain times there's things going on in the orchestra that, you know, I have trouble hearing super well. So it's like I circle the moments when I have to look at you, Michael, and make sure that I'm with you, and then you're gonna be the one linking us together. So I think those three sections came very clearly to me. I was not like, there was never a point where I just didn't know what the heck was going on, which happens often, actually. Sometimes I'm just like counting the beats, and then it's just like I'm just playing my role, but I don't know what I stand for, and I just have to be the glue so we end together.
Well, that's what I meant. That the pieces fit together in a way that you thought, oh, this is logical, this is beautiful, it makes sense to me, and that's why it falls into play. It's so much. Even really difficult pieces are easier than less technically challenging things which are not conceived properly. I've always felt. But I also think that in Jonathan's language, you can agree or not, young Mr. Leshnoff, sometimes he has this in a lot of his pieces. He likes the repetition, right? So regardless of the rapidity of the harmonic motion, the actual notes very often are, and keeping that steady is a thing, right? That's hard. I mean, or that's the goal. And in that, you know, you don't ever want to say, oh, I'm motoric, I'm metronomic, because you're not an artist. Nah, you can be an artist too, but you got to be absolutely, you know, disciplined and steady, and you are nothing if not steady. So that was a huge boon.
It's sort of, there's almost a stillness in the repetition. If someone sort of, you know, gets off balance, then it rushes forward with these repetitious things just exponentially going a certain way, but you just have to be totally sort of centered in the, you know, sort of like a balance beam, and go ta 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 ta, and then not, you know, not lose, not fall off in any kind of way. And it's actually, and certain things for the piano part, it's so wonderfully written from the soloist point of view, because maybe I did tell you, Jonathan, that if you're gonna write me something notoriously difficult, I better be heard. Like, I will, you know, do the work and really get it sparkling and captivating and ready for it. But sometimes that happens in romantic repertoire, like a Rachmaninoff concerto, which is notoriously difficult. But what people don't know is that 30% of the time, the really, really difficult things are just completely covered by everything that's equally interesting in the orchestra. And you don't know that until you get to the concert. What parts are really, you're heard like a soloist, and what parts you're just part of the orchestra. And I feel like in this concerto, when it's, when you write the gnarly things, Jonathan, it's like the piano really pops out of that texture that's almost like a still pond, and then it's just piano rises above that. And I'm like, I remember getting to those sections like, okay, everyone can hear it now. Let me really dive in there and bring it to life. And it's gratifying when you work for something and you know all the textures are just right and you can sort of do what you worked toward.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad it's worth the effort, because it's funny, when I was writing it sometimes I actually was saying, oh, she's going to be bored with this. Because Michael's point, she's going to get bored. I need to do something different here. But most of the times I left it with my instincts. But it's funny because I could have had you work a lot harder. I'm glad. I think we're good as it is.
Well, we're beyond the changes now. We had enough talk about them. We're not changing it anymore. So
I like that I'm either the thing that floats above the texture or below, or when I'm doing it, then they float above. It's not like, you know, so many times piano part does a little bit of everything. Like I'm playing an orchestral score, like I double the oboe with my pinky, and then my rumbles are with the lower strings. You know, sometimes I look at the score, I'm like, these parts are being played by other instruments. Why am I doubling everything? But in this score, it's like every part is sort of, it is unique, and it carries a new, it's little bits of different worlds sort of nestled together.